Imagine living in a country where the poor are starving, bread prices are soaring, taxes are crushing ordinary people, while the king and nobles live in unimaginable luxury. In 1789, the people of France had enough. What followed was one of the most dramatic and violent revolutions in human history. A revolution that toppled a king, unleashed chaos, and changed the world forever. This is the story of the French Revolution. Late 18th century France was one of the most powerful nations in Europe. At its head stood King Louis XVI, ruling under an absolute monarchy. French society was divided into three groups called estates. The first estate was the clergy, the second estate was the nobility, and the third estate, making up around 98% of the population, consisted of common people, including farmers, workers, and the growing middle class. The problem? The third estate paid most of the taxes. The wealthy elites enjoyed privileges while ordinary citizens struggled to survive. Years of bad harvests caused food shortages. Bread prices skyrocketed. Meanwhile, France was drowning in debt after expensive wars and royal spending. The nation was on the brink of collapse. In May 1789, King Louis XVI called a meeting known as the Estates General to solve the financial crisis. But the Third Estate quickly realized they had little real power. Frustrated, they broke away and declared themselves the National Assembly, claiming to represent the people of France. The king tried to resist. The people responded with action. On July 14, 1789, an angry crowd stormed the Bastille, a medieval fortress and prison in Paris. Although only a few prisoners were held there, the Bastille symbolized royal oppression. Its fall became the defining moment of the revolution. Today, July 14th is still celebrated as France's national holiday. The revolution spread rapidly. Across the country, peasants attacked noble estates. The National Assembly abolished many feudal privileges and promised greater equality. In 1789, they issued the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen. It proclaimed that all men were born free and equal in rights. These revolutionary ideas challenged centuries of monarchy and aristocratic rule. But tensions continued to rise. In 1792, revolutionaries officially abolished the monarchy. King Louis XVI was arrested and put on trial for treason. In January 1793, he was found guilty. The king was executed by guillotine before a massive crowd. Months later, Queen Marie Antoinette met the same fate. France was now a republic. But the revolution was far from over. With enemies threatening France from both inside and outside the country, radical revolutionaries seized control. The most powerful among them was Maximilien Robespierre. He believed the revolution could only survive through extreme measures. This period became known as the Reign of Terror. Anyone suspected of opposing the revolution could be arrested. Thousands were executed by guillotine. Former nobles, political rivals, even ordinary citizens. Fear spread throughout France. The revolution that began with hopes of liberty had descended into violence. Eventually, many revolutionaries feared Robespierre himself. In 1794, he was arrested and executed. The reign of terror came to an end. Although the violence subsided, France remained unstable. Governments rose and fell. Political chaos continued. Then a young military general emerged. His name was Napoleon Bonaparte. In 1799, Napoleon seized power and effectively ended the French Revolution. Over the next decade, he would become one of history's most famous leaders, reshaping Europe through war and reform. The French Revolution transformed not only France but the entire world. It challenged the idea that kings ruled by divine right. It spread powerful concepts such as liberty, equality, and popular sovereignty. Its influence can still be seen in modern democracies today. But it also served as a warning. A fight for freedom can inspire hope. The French Revolution remains one of history's greatest lessons on power, justice, and the will of the people, and its echoes can still be heard more than 2 centuries later.